1 minute think that the good guys are going to lose. This has been planned for far beyond and above anything that the bad guys could come up with. And I haven't shared it because I was asked not to share it. But I suppose I can describe it to you. It didn't say I couldn't describe it. It just said you can't share this video. On the day of the 6th, when the action was taking place around the Capitol building, I have been sent a private video of the president's team and associates, if I can call them that, watching from a secure location everything playing out. So it's quite informal, and instead of there being pessimism or doom and gloom, or it's very serious, but it's very positive. So what I'm trying to get across to everybody is that President Trump is not running around panicking or shouting. People are not betraying him in the inner circle. Oh, sure, all the other people on the hangers-on, but he already knew who they were. And often, the president has put people into a position so they play a game and then they leave. So how it's playing out really is to a script, if we can call it that, to a projection that the good guys have been working on since 1963. And again, on that phone conversation, the reset, that was the old word we used to use 5 or 6 years ago. The change, the going back to what cost President Kennedy his life. Many people thought that President Kennedy was murdered because of his interest in UFOs, or his interaction with the trade unions. The real reason that he was murdered was because he was about to do something to the Federal Reserve. He was about to try to put America back on the gold standard, and of course the deep state were never going to have that, and so they murdered him. So you can't be in positions of power in America and not know about that. You can't be in positions of power without deciding which side of the fence you're on. And so the good people, I'm coming right forward now to President Trump, decided that they wanted to complete the work that Kennedy had almost got into place. He was only a few weeks or days even from signing that off, which would have meant, removing the CIA from the influence game. So what should happen, we can never be 100% sure, but what should happen is, as part of all of this changes and developments that we're going through, America should return to the gold standard, which means that it's not possible for corruption in the same way that we've had. It's not just the gold standard, it's the way that banks relate to each other, how interest is charged, how people can take our money, your money, the people's money, and then do things with it at night time, invest it here, invest it there, blood diamonds, arms, bombs, and bring it back and do something else with it. That's all got to change. And so moving back to a financial system that does actually set humanity free. So it's not just, when will the tanks be on the street? When will the power go off? When will mainstream media be taken down? When will the emergency broadcast system come out? It's not just about that. It's about saving humanity. It's about moving things forward, because you can't just go through one revolution without making it so secure it never happens again. Look at France. They had the French Revolution, and what happened there? They went round and they cut all the heads off, as many of the bad people they could get their hands on, and then they ran out of money. It's always about money. They ran out of money, and they said, look, we've got all these French chateaus, we've got these enormous palaces in Versailles and all the rest of it. We can't run them. So what did they do? They actually sold them back to the very families that they dispossessed them of. So the very people that they arrested and some were killed, they ended up selling the properties back to these people, and then they moved back in. So there was no change. Liberty, equality, fraternity is nonsense. nothing changed. And so what people have learned since the death, or the murder, I must be clear, the murder of Kennedy, is that you can't just go through a form of revolution because there could be a counter-revolution. You have to set in place a system that changes the world, not just America. And that's what this is all about. So, you know, we are all playing our own role. You're playing your role. I'm playing my role. People who are unsung heroes who are never even seen, they're playing their role. And hopefully we're doing it because we believe that what we're doing is right. You know, and I'll just finish on the Q, the letter Q. And there should be no coincidence that, you know, I've been offered a position to go to America, to be in Arizona, to be in Phoenix, and not only that, to be in the part of Phoenix called Scottsdale. Scottsdale is the home of the Q movement, and just research it. Those of you in the movement will know that. Just research it. So, you know, I have a vested interest, because if Joe Biden was to become the president, I'm not moving to America. I wouldn't be allowed in. I'd probably be, I don't know, I'd be shot or imprisoned, but I think they'd just put me on the airplane and send me straight back. So I have a very big vested interest, because if I want to go to the US, and I do, it's not going to happen if Biden's in there, because you know, we're on completely different sides of the tracks. So I want Trump to get in for all the reasons I've just given you, and then after that, for the personal reason that then I can go to the US and I can then start looking at building healing centers. You know, I want to build healing centers with med beds in, so that these children that are being rescued from the underground locations can be effectively treated. And if anybody thinks that that's all nonsense, that there are no children held under deep underground bases, then I'm sorry, you're not doing your research properly, because there are regrettably a large number of women and children and men being held against their will in underground facilities by the most evilest people that I can ever imagine. And there are many of us on the planet who are absolutely determined to do whatever we can, no matter how little it is, to try and do something positive. And that's why, you know, I want to get this healing centre in partnership up in Great Britain. And if it wasn't for this wretched lockdown that we're all under, I and those who are with me would have really moved this on now. But it's there. We have to wait for these ridiculous laws to be taken off us, and we'll get the first Connecting Consciousness in Partnership Healing Centre up and running here in Great Britain, United Kingdom. Get to America, get one up running there, and start doing some practical physical help for all these people who are survivors of something that the vast majority, 99% of the world's population, have no clue about. They just don't know the evil that's been perpetrated on people. But they shall know, and they shall know because they need to know the truth. All right, so that's the update. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll obviously keep you up to date with things that are going on. Take care.